Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 2021 director's cut of a 2017 film. It's a superhero film directed by Zack Snyder with a screenplay by Chris Terrio and based on characters from DC Comics.
It stars Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, whose name I just butchered, I think, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, and Ezra Miller.
The budget for this movie was an additional 70 million on top of the original 300 million budget. There was no box office run for this. It was released for streaming platforms HBO Max.
The tomato meter rating was 71% with an audience score of 95%.
So, 4 years after the underwhelming theatrical release of the Whedon cut, we our second favorite group of film superheroes are finally back in the highly anticipated Snyder Cut. This is the fifth film in the DC Extended Universe following Batman vs. Superman. The film follows the team that it's named after, the Justice League, as they try to protect the Earth from a powerful extraterrestrial threat. So I do have to say that this is without a doubt an improvement from the 2017 version. But with that being said, I don't think you can add 2 hours to something and a lot of times not improve it. If you do add 2 hours to something and you don't improve it, then what the fuck did you add to it? So I don't think that it's kind of a low bar to say that they improved on the 2017 one. I think that movie was incredibly underwhelming. So I don't think it was very hard to improve on the theatrical release. I have a major problem with this, and a lot of it comes down to pacing. I'm a big fan of pacing when it comes to a movie. I think that films are designed to be watched from beginning to end. They are designed to have moments call back at certain times. You design a time to moment A to happen, and then X number of minutes goes by, and then moment B can reference moment A, and that works a certain way. When a film is 4 hours long and almost no one watches it from beginning to end, most people take breaks at different times. You don't get to do that. You no longer have a constructed intermission in it, so everyone's experience with it is different. So for that reason, I can't really judge this as a film. This is not a film to me. It is like what they intended to do with it. One of the original intentions was to be a 6-part miniseries, I believe it is. So it's like that to me almost would have been better for this. So it's really hard for me to give this a verdict as just a film in itself. So I guess saying that, I need to be real. This is a director's cut of a movie from 4 years ago. This was released for a pretty specific market. There was a SnyderCut.com website. There was a vocal group that was rallying behind this movie to be released. If this movie was made for you, I'm pretty positive that you've already seen it. So if you are on the fence about watching this, I don't feel like that this movie was made for you, honestly. So for me to give this any sort of verdict, honestly, even though I enjoyed it and I felt like it was a big improvement from the 2017 version, I do have to give this a no, just simply because I feel like if you were in the camp that was going to enjoy it, you've already seen it. What's your opinion?
Yeah. So this is actually kind of a weird one for me because I didn't hate the 27 film. It was worse than that. I just had nothing to say about the 2017 film. It's like when people say that depression isn't being really sad, it's actually feeling nothing. Well, that's what that 2017 movie was for me. It was feeling nothing. I was kind of like, that was okay. All right, yeah, Jason Momoa is buff. All right, I'm done. So, and like you said, like, not only is it impossible to add 2 hours to a film and not make an improvement, it's impossible to not make that movie any better. And I recognize that there was a market for this movie. I know that there was the whole like Snyder movement. I know there's a whole hashtag restore the Snyderverse, which is probably all the people that want to see this movie already. I actually had no idea this movie was going to happen whatsoever. And I was surprised when I logged in HBO Max and saw it. I was like, what is this? And that was like maybe a day or two before you were like, hey, should we do an episode in the Snyder Cut? And I was like, no. And here we are. So yeah, I mean, I feel you on the pacing. I actually had a coworker who likes, Star Wars and superhero films and stuff like that, sort of like lay into me for not watching the whole thing all the way through. To which my rebuttal was, on the contrary, sir, I've watched it. I will watch it twice and watch the first one once, and we'll have a 10-hour investment, and then do a podcast episode on it. So, but I didn't really think about the pacing, man. You're kind of right about that. It is a little hard to. Someone should come up with a guide about how to best section it. Like where to stop and then where to start it. Like where
Well,
like
I wonder if
which
it's the
section
parts.
should you watch?
Because it was split into those 6 parts where it even goes to a black screen and says, part 1, don't count on it, Batman. It's like, are those I think those were the 6-part episodes that it was supposed to be chopped into.
I guess Zack Snyder probably gave us a guideline for how to do this. So yeah, maybe if you haven't watched it, separate it into pieces. I'm just gonna say for this movie, I have 2 conditions to my verdict. One is if you really, really, really hated the first one, or if you were just completely indifferent to it, or if you just have 4 hours you need to fill up really badly in a row, then my verdict for this one actually is a yes. But those 2 conditions, like if you really hated the one, or you just didn't give a shit, or you really just need to fill up 4 entire hours of time, you won't find another movie that's going to fill that up for you. So you may as well watch this. So I guess, this is one of the weakest yeses I've ever given.
that is that's fair. Yeah, it is a pretty weak yes.
It's a weak yes. So if you want to hear more about all of this, and maybe even a few bits of possible music news, watch the full episode.
Yep. Yeah, so let's get we'll bring Spoiler Terry out. He will ruin a lot of this movie, and yeah, let's get into it.